So again, in this concept for the teacher talk, please make sure you're working through the questions on your own and using this to check. If you have any questions, please see a teacher. Steps for solving rational equations are listed there, and you can go ahead and read over them. This first question says, when will a rational equation have no solution? And the answer is when the solution is excluded from the domain. Remember that your denominator cannot equal 0, so any number that would make your denominator 0 would cause an exclusion. On number 2 here, as you're working through, you're going to need a common denominators. So the first thing we're going to do is factor the denominator on the second side to see what we've got. Okay, we notice that we have x plus 2 and x minus 3, which are the ones that we're using on the other side. So before we can subtract those two, we need our multiply the tops and the bottoms so that we have a common denominator. At this point, when you see that you have the same denominator in every statement, we can just look at the numerators and set them equal to each other and solve. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and look at the denominators and state our exclusions. Our exclusions here would be -2 and +3. That's what would make your denominator 0. So as long as when we solve out, we don't get one of those two answers, then we have a solution. So we're going to take our numerators, set them equal to each other. You'll go ahead and multiply in your -5s and 3 and combine like terms. Solve it out like normal, and we end up with x equals -8, which is not a part of our exclusions up there. So that's the solution. And then again, on this example, number 3, we need to go ahead and factor the denominators. While we're in this position, we're going to go ahead and state our exclusions, which is plus and minus 4. We've got a x plus 4 on the right-hand side, so we need to multiply the top and bottom of the left-hand side so that we have our common denominators. And at that point, once we have the common denominators, we can just set the numerators equal to each other and solve. And you notice that we get x equals 4. X equals 4 is one of the exclusions, so the answer is going to be no solution. If you were to plug 4 into the equation that they gave you in number 3, you'd be dividing by 0 and you'd get no solution. If you're having any questions or need further examples, please make sure you see a teacher.